My name is Shai Yaniv, and I'm from Ceragon. And we are at Ceragon, our TIP members for several years now. We're excited to see all the innovation and all the progress that's been done here. And I'd like to talk to you today about what's on everybody's minds. How to build 5G gigabit broadband networks quickly, at scale, and essentially accelerate the rollout. If there's one thing I want you to take for today is that when you build those networks, not only transport is key and is the way for us, for you, for us all together to build the networks at scale and fast, but it is essential to have a combination of fiber and wireless tools within in order to reach everywhere. That domain, the wireless transport, really is comprised of three layers: the radio layer, the networking layer, and the automation and optimization layer. And today I'd like to quickly run through all of those layers and show you how those together are making an impact on networks. So we'll start with the radio layer. 5G networks develops mostly and firstly from macro cells, from the existing macro cells, and adding 5G and our carriers to those. In many places, those sites have an existing wireless transport piece to it, and that's where 100 megahertz 5GNR massive MIMO type of cells will require 4, even 8 gigabits per second, and they'll need those reliably. And bringing those reliably over macro cells means use of microwave spectrum, which is typically narrowband. And this is where it is essential not only to widen those bands, moving from what's available today, but quadrupling those bands. And some countries are already doing so and providing technology which can deliver those capacities of 4, 6, and 8 gigabits per second at scale in macro sites. We already see countries which have regulated, for example, 224 megahertz channels. Moving from backhaul, we need to look at fronthaul and midhaul and see how we support those. So 10, 20 gigabits per second capacity is essential to drive the Open RAN initiative. And for that, fiber alone will not cut it. And wireless technology, which can deliver 10, 20, 25, 50, 100 gigabits per second in order to support sites with multiple technologies of 4G, of Wi-Fi 6, of 5G millimeter wave access and 5G mid-band access, is essential to drive those capacities. And from here, I'd like to move on to the networking layer. A networking layer which provides layer 3, layer 2 protocols, which allows for network routing. And that solution which comes along, or this architecture, which the TIP is fostering and progressing with through DSCG with disaggregated routers, is a very exciting initiative which we're excited to see being adopted in the market. And beyond that, we move to the integration of the radio layer and the networking layer. So here, the industry is providing tools, and we at Ceragon are investing heavily in this to make sure that not only routers are available for building 5G and gigabit networks, but the capability to integrate radio software onto it to optimize the site performance to reach the capacities that are needed without leaving any gigabit per second behind and falling short of it. Which moves me to the last and final layer, which is perhaps the most exciting one because it brings everything together. This is the automation and optimization layer. Automation, because it allows for quick rollout, first time right, and making sure that all services are up and running as quickly as possible to generate revenues out of those, but also looking at network optimization, so making sure energy efficiency is in place with all the huge number of sites which are going to be deployed. And we're hearing from many of our partners and service providers that energy efficiency and energy saving is key. So the optimization layer, which is done over software-defined networking, is key. Not only that, fast reroute to adapt for weather conditions is key as well, and that automation and optimization layer over SDN, software-defined networking technology, is key as well. And there are many other examples which we can look at and how this is done. So I hope this session today was interesting for you. We're certainly at Ceragon are very excited of what's ahead. And I'd also like to invite you to the Ceragon booth, which is available on the TIP Insight series.